Hi everyone, my name is Julia and I'm a physical therapist. I'm here today with an upper body strength workout with a shoulder burnout round. So we're going to start off with a warm-up, get our body moving, then it's going to be followed by an upper body strength portion using mostly straight arm movements, and so we're going to have lighter weights than usual. We're going to follow that up with a shoulder burnout round just to work on our shoulder stability and strength, and then we're going to end with a cool down. So grab some weights, turn on your music, and let's start the workout. So we're starting off here with some shoulder rolls. We're just going to get the body moving. So I like to usually move my feet a little bit too when I'm doing upper body warm-ups, just to make sure my lower body is awake and ready to support me too. Also, it helps get the heart rate up a little bit more. So nice big shoulder circles. We're going to go into arm circles. So you can do forwards, backwards, just reaching through that full range of motion. And you can also change like step side to side here. Our next one's going to be down on the ground, plank shoulder taps. So nice high plank position, and then tap your opposite shoulder. And you're really going to have to push between your opposite hand and foot to avoid your hips really swaying side to side. Our next one's going to be a plank to downward dog. So high plank, push back into a downward dog, come back to plank, and then repeat. So getting that overhead stability, warming up that overhead range. Our next one's going to be all the way on the ground, a back bow pull. So back bowl, and then pull your arms down by your sides, kind of like a horizontal pull-up. So warming up that lower back, upper back, shoulder blade muscles. Next one's going to be up on our feet. Bent over row external rotation Y. So row, rotate, Y, and then reverse each step. This is really waking up the back side of our shoulders. Next one is a fly jack. So we're really going to get our heart rate up. So if you need low impact, just do a stepping fly jack. Otherwise, a full fly jack. Our last warm-up exercise is going to be a slow burpee with push-up. I know, burpees for warm-up. So come down, step back, push up, step in, stand. Come down, step back, push up, step in, stand. If you're feeling extra feisty, you can jump back, jump in. All right, and that was it for the warm-up. So grab your weights and we'll start the strength portion. Okay, so for the strength portion of this workout, we're gonna go 5 groups of 2 exercises each. We're doing 50 seconds on, 10 seconds off, twice through each group. So we're gonna go straight through. If you need a break, if you're like, Julia, you're crazy, I can't do this without a break, totally fine. Just hit the pause button, grab some water, and then come back and rejoin for the rest of the workout. But we'll be going straight through here, okay? So grab your weights and let's get started. Our first 2 are gonna be chest flies and reverse flies. So I'm gonna grab my weights for the chest flies, lay flat on your back, and then lower the weights out to your sides without your hands touching the ground, and then bring them back up over your shoulders. So again, because we're doing straight arm exercises, you're probably gonna need a much lighter weight here than you might expect. So you should not be able to lift anywhere near as much as you can with a chest press on this chest fly here. So inhale down, exhale lift. And these are really long intervals, 50 seconds for each one. So we're really working on that endurance type muscle. All right, and then we're going into the reverse fly. So again, I'm gonna pick a pretty light weight here, hinge at the hips, and then raise the weights out to the sides, and then lower. So make sure you're keeping a neutral spine in this bent over position. And if your chest isn't totally parallel to the floor, that's fine. You're going to be a little bit limited by how flexible you are. And so if you can't get parallel without your back slumping, then you don't need to get there. So nice and slow and steady, raising your weights to shoulder height. This is a good one. Often you can just start body weight and it'll be plenty challenging. Keep it going. Then we're going to go back to that chest fly. All right, switch out the weights. Back to the chest fly. And these are also quick transitions. You only get 10 seconds. So if you miss a few seconds here and there, no worries. So inhale on the way down. Exhale up. Make sure you're hovering the weights above the ground at the end of your range here. So control as far as you can on the way down. And then bring them right back up over your shoulders. Keep it going. All right. And then we're going back up for those reverse flies. Grab those weights, hinge at the hips, and then slowly raise the weights out to the side, maintaining that nice neutral spine. Exhale up, inhale down. And again, you can do body weight on this one to start. Going. Got nice long intervals. Feel burn. We're almost there. Then we're going to move on to our next group. All right. Our next group is going to be ventral and lateral raises. So again, I'm going to grab pretty light weights for that. So starting off with the we're doing ventral raises and lat pullovers for this one. So starting off with the ventral raise. So straight forward in front of you, and I'm going all the way overhead. However, you can just keep it to shoulder height if overhead is not your jam right now. And I always like to do a little bit of a single leg challenge, balance challenge. And this one is particularly challenging because your arms are straight and the weights are going through a really wide range of motion here. Pretty much your full range of motion. So nice and steady, control the weights, no swinging, try not to tip your body back. All right, then we're going for lat pullovers. So again, not a super heavy weight. So lay on your back, and then the weights are gonna lower overhead, and then raise back up over your shoulders. So this is a hard position for your shoulder. Use a lighter weight than you think you can handle at first, and then bump it up once you've got your form down. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And this straight arm lat pullover is really helpful for swimmers. I'm a swimmer, so I like working this one. Gets the lats in that overhead position. Also helpful for people who throw overhead, who hit overhead. And then lots of other functional tasks. All right, back up for those ventral raises. So picking up those weights again. And then going straight overhead. And you can mix it up. If you do some just to shoulder height, you can do palm down, but if you're going all the way overhead, I would recommend going thumbs up just to open up that shoulder joint a little bit more and avoid any impingement there or any just closing down of that space. And again, I'm going to add that single leg balance challenge. I did it on my other foot on the last round, so I got to do this foot on this round. And nice and slow and controlled. You don't want to be using momentum to raise the weights here. Keep it going. Good. All right, then we're going back down for the lat pullovers. So switching out my weights. And let the weights lower overhead slowly, under control, and then back up over my shoulders. For a little extra core challenge, you can raise your legs off the ground. Just makes your core muscles work harder to keep your back flat on the ground here. You can also experiment, turn your palms in. Or if you want a big challenge, you can turn your palms down. Feels a little awkward, but kind of puts the muscle on stretch, which makes it a little more difficult than the standard way. All right, so now we're moving on to lateral raises and a side lat pullover. So this time we're going to be raising out to the side. And this one, you want to go thumbs up if you're going overhead. Or again, if you want to just keep it to shoulder height, you can stay there. Whatever range is comfortable for you. And I'm going to add in that single leg balance challenge. I like doing the single leg balance because otherwise I get too bored just doing upper body exercises. And also, the single leg balance works on your core a little bit more, and who doesn't want more of that? I also don't like doing exclusively core, so I try and work core into my other workouts. Just more efficient, and this is one way you can do that. All right, so now we're going to grab one weight, and we're doing a side lat pullover. So the weight starts over your shoulder, slowly lower over your head as far as you can control, and then back up over your shoulder. Your knees should be bent up, just to keep your lower back in a nice straight line here. Inhale down, exhale up. And make sure you can control the weight. Again, use a lighter weight than you think you can at first. Get the form down, then you can bump up the weight. So we're going to be doing this one on the other side for our next interval. And then our next group of two, we're actually going to be doing this exercise again. So we'll get 2 rounds on each arm. All right, excellent. Switch your weights back for those lateral raises. And start it up. So if you're just going to shoulder height here, you can do palms down or palms up. Just work slightly different parts of the muscle. And then again, I'm going to add that balance challenge. And I like to do a mix. One's not necessarily better than the other. Variety is the spice of life, so I like to do both. So I'll add back in my overhead range. And I'll be going thumbs up for this one. And try and keep your shoulders away from your ears. Don't let them shrug up as you lift your weights. Your shoulders and ears are not friends. Don't let them hang out. So you kind of pin your shoulder blades down your back as you raise the weights overhead. All right, and then going to the other side for that side lat pullover. Again, we'll be doing this exercise again for the next round. Slowly let it lower overhead and then bring it back up over your shoulder. And then keep it going nice and steady. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. Nice steady motion, keep it under control. And this is again working the lats in a slightly different way. Really important muscle for swimming, so I like to hit the lats in my strength training. And again, you're trying to keep your shoulder away from your ear. Don't let it crunch up. Don't let your neck become a little turtleneck. All right, our next two are going to be wood chops and side lat pullovers. So I think I'm actually going to try this weight here. So the wood chop, start down by one knee, rotate your hips and your feet in a diagonal, lifting over the opposite shoulder. So this is a pretty nice functional exercise. Gets the obliques a little bit, as well as those shoulder and arm muscles. Think about like picking up a box from the ground, putting it on a shelf, unloading your groceries, putting things up in the cabinets. So I like this one for a functional exercise. Plus you get a little core in there too. So remember which diagonal you're doing, because we're going to be doing the opposite side on our next round. And again, remember, if you ever need a break, you can always hit the pause button, grab a drink of water. No shame in taking a break, it just means you can work harder coming back. So we're going back to those side lat pullovers here. So slowly lower overhead, raise up over your shoulder. So this is the second round on that first arm that you did for the side lat pullover. So we're going to get 2 rounds total on each arm. And we're almost done with the strength portion here. We just have this round, next round, and then we get to the shoulder burnout. How exciting. Hope you're looking forward to it. I know I am. So make sure you can control this side lat pull over here. Keep that shoulder away from your ear. Good. All right, so now stand back up. We're going to do the wood chop in the other direction. So for me, I'm going to now start down by my right knee and then go up over my left shoulder. Start it up, because you just went to the grocery store and now you have all those groceries to unload, and of course all your kitchen cabinets are above your head, especially if you're short like me. So you got to be able to have that strength and control over this range of motion just to get the food inside your cabinets. So this is really important for core control. And you should feel the burn in your arms. You don't want to be swinging like a pendulum. You're trying to go in a straight diagonal here. So your arms are really going to have to work. All right, going back down for that last round of side lat pullovers. Set it up and start it up. Slowly go overhead, pull back over your shoulder, drop the shoulder away from your ear, and keep it going, nice and steady. And after this, we just have one more set of 2 exercises, or one more round, 2 sets of 2 exercises, before we move on to the shoulder burnout. Keep it going here. 50 seconds is a long time, I know. You can always hit the pause button if you need to. All right, so now we're going to alternating static bicep curls and overhead tricep extensions. So grab your weights for the bicep curls. So one arm is going to stay the same. We'll do 4 with the moving arm. So 3 and 4. And then this arm stays static, and this is going to go 4. 3, 4. So I chose a lighter weight than I normally would for bicep curls, just because the static part gives you a much better burnout here. And also it's a pretty long interval. So if you have to switch your weights halfway, no shame in that. I'd rather you have good quality than be forcing out the reps by swinging your body or swinging your arm or doing something crazy. All right, so the next one, I'm just gonna finish these here, is gonna be overhead tricep extension. So go ahead and grab your weights for that. Arms go overhead, and then you're gonna slowly lower behind your head, and then raise, and you want your upper arms to stay pretty stable, not too flared out to the side, so pretty close to your head. And core on, so you're pretty straight up and down without too much arch in your back. Getting into this overhead tricep position here. And sometimes it helps just to put the weights together, just so there's a little bit less wriggling back and forth of the weights in the air. And you can always add my favorite, the single leg balance challenge. All right, going back to those static bicep curls. Here's the really static dynamic. So one arm stays static, the other arm is going to move for 4. And you can change up the number. You can do like 3, you can do 5, whatever you want. I just like doing 4. And keep that breathing nice and steady. Ooh, this one's definitely harder on the second round. I can feel it. I'm definitely sweating. Hopefully you are too. And then hold that static arm at about 90 degrees while the moving arm moves. Keep it up. You're almost there. You just have one more set of the overhead tricep extensions after this. All right, so grab your weights for the overhead tricep extension. Get them up there. And then if you want to join me, you can do the single leg balance challenge. Nice steady breathing. Keep those elbows close to your head. Don't let them flare out to the side too much. And remember, you want to keep your core on so your back's not arching. And your elbows also shouldn't come forward, so you should barely be able to see your arms out of the corner of your eyes, but not too much. Keep going. Woo, all right. And that is it for the strength portion. So now you get your water break. So go ahead and grab a sip of water and then come back and we're going to go into our shoulder burnout round. Okay, so for the shoulder burnout round, we have 8 exercises, 30 seconds each, no breaks. We're just going straight through and we're going to do 2 rounds. So buckle up. Here we go. We're starting off on the ground with prone tees. So on your stomach, arms out to the side in the T, thumbs up, and then slide your shoulder blades together and raise your arms off the ground. So we're going to start by getting those scapular muscles. Sorry about my squeaky shoes on the wood floor here. So squeeze those scapular muscles And keep your shoulders away from your ears. Next one is a prone W. So we're doing that horizontal pull-up position again. Kind of like the back bow from the warm-up, but without the back extension. So you're really just squeezing your shoulder blades down and together on your back. And you can hear my skin sticking to the mat because of sweat here. So the next one is going to be push-ups. So 30 seconds of push-ups. Nice strong plank position. You can also do these from your knees if you're not up to the full push-up. But if you can, try and get that full push-up in there. Keep going. Next one is going to be side plank with shoulder external rotation. So grab a light weight. So you're going to be in a side plank. And then externally rotate that shoulder. We'll do this side first. Woo! I already feel the shoulder burn. Then we're flipping over to the second side on the next round. So if you have to drop the weight or decrease the weight, feel free. That was kind of a lot for me. I might switch it down on the next round. So other side, side plank, external rotation. Again, you can always do a side plank from your knees here, or you can join me with the full side plank. Our next one is going to be a T plank side, or T side plank rotation. Oh, shoulders are burning, can't even talk. All right, so up in a tall plank. Rotate to one side, hips and shoulders as one unit, up in a T, and then switch to the other side. So rotate to your side, onto the side of your feet, raise up in the T, and then the other side. Next one is an overhead farmer's carry, so get a pretty heavy weight here. Going straight overhead, and then you just walk back and forth. If you don't really have enough space to walk back and forth, you can just do a few steps forward, a few steps backwards, keep kind of right in place. Or if you have a bigger area than me, you can do longer walks back and forth. We're going to switch hands here. So switch the weight, and you want your elbow straight. Your arm is straight up overhead, and your shoulder is kind of settled into its place there. So really working on overhead stability here. Then we're going to get down on the ground and start all over again. Starting with the prone T's. So put that weight down on the ground. Arms out to the side, thumbs up, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. This is the shoulder burnout round, and so if you need to stop, shake it out, no worries. Take a quick pause and then come back and join us. Also, the transition times are 0 seconds, so don't be worried at all if you miss a little bit. Go back to those prone W's. So that horizontal pull-up motion, dragging your shoulder blades down on your rib cage. Doesn't this feel easy now after everything else we just did? The next one is going to be push-ups. Getting back into the chest, front of the shoulder a little bit. All right, nice push-up position. And you can do wide push-ups, you can do tricep push-ups, whatever type of push-ups you like. I'm doing pretty standard, slightly wide push-ups here. Ooh, feel the burn. Next one is the side plank with shoulder external rotation. So think about what weight you're going to grab for that. All right, I'm going to grab slightly lighter weights this time. So side plank, and start up that external rotation. So pin your elbow to your side and make sure your shoulder is stacked right on top of your bottom elbow. And feel the burn. Those rotator cuff muscles are really important for your shoulder stability. Go ahead and switch sides. So I like working them in all different directions. So you can also do band work for rotator cuff strengthening, but I like doing some weighted work. And again, this is just a really light weight in my hand here. It doesn't take much to get those shoulders burning. Make sure your shoulder is stacked over your bottom elbow. We're going back to that T side plank rotation. So rotate open in a T, rotate back to the high plank, switch sides. Hips and shoulders rotate as one unit. Really turn on your core here. These core muscles are going to have to work. See, here we go, hidden core with the shoulder stabilization. All right, back to that overhead farmer's carry. So that weight goes up overhead, straight arm, shoulder settles in, and walk. This is a deceptively difficult exercise. It's like, oh, all you're doing is walking with weight. But you have to stabilize overhead. Takes a lot of shoulder stability. And we're only doing one arm at a time, so that's core stability as well. Go ahead and switch your hands. And this one, you should be able to use a pretty heavy weight. This is pretty much the heaviest weight that you're going to use in this whole workout. And we're ending with it. So this is your last interval here of the shoulder burnout round. Woohoo! Keep it going strong. You're almost there. All right. And the double beep, you know what that means. We are done with the hard portion of the workout. So grab a quick drink of water, shake out your burning shoulder muscles, and then come right back for the cool down. Don't skip the cool down, it's important. So see you in a few seconds. All right, we've got our cool down here, 20 seconds of each stretch, starting with a cross arm stretch. You just did all that work on your arms, so don't skip the cool down. So pull one arm across, get a nice stretch in the shoulder here. That burning shoulder from that shoulder burnout round. There's a reason it's called burnout round, so hopefully you felt that. So just let the muscles release. Switch sides. Should feel a good stretch in the shoulder here, those deltoids. And again, I like to keep my feet moving just a little bit, just because it's a little boring for me to stand still. Tricep stretch overhead. Just pull the elbow across. Then to get an extra side stretch, you can put your leg behind and lean away from that side. Feel a stretch down that whole side of your body. And breathe. Switch sides, so other elbow up. Pull the elbow across, and then if you like, lean into it and breathe. Just relax into the stretch. You did a lot of hard work. Great job. Thanks for sticking with me for that workout. I'm going to go to the wall for a wall pec stretch. So find a spot on the wall. Or you can do this in a doorway to keep your wrist in more of a neutral position. And breathe. switch other arm. Get a nice stretch across this chest and the front of your shoulder here. Appreciate your muscles for all the hard work they just did. Overhead lat stretch is next. So get your core on so your back doesn't arch too much. And then stretch out the underside of those arms. You can do palms facing in to get more of a lat stretch here. And just breathe into the stretch. Our next one is going to be down on the ground. We're going to thread the needle. So arm up, underneath, thread it through. And stretch out the back of the shoulder. Try and get your head and the back of your shoulder on the ground. You can keep inching your arm across. Switch sides. And then breathe into the stretch. Reach across your shoulders. Just breathe here. Try and spread across your shoulder blades. Our next one is going to be a Cobra stretch. We're going to stretch out those core muscles. Alright, so into a Cobra. Oops, I think I messed up my timer here, so we're just going to do freeform Cobra. So inhale up. Take a few deep breaths here. And then we're going to go into our child's pose. So sink back in the child's pose, hips to heels. Let the upper back release, arms go overhead. A few breaths here. All right. And that is it. You just completed an upper body workout with a shoulder burnout round. So thanks for sticking with me through that workout, and I'll see you next time.